Hello and welcome to part 2 of the Escort class training session, where I'm going to explain you how you use the Escort class and how you configure it using the different APIs currently available within the class. A little reminder, the Escort class purpose is that you take the lead of your flight and you're escorted by a couple of AI units. These can be planes, helicopters, ships, or ground units. And the class allows you to interact with the escorts while taking the lead, giving them commands to do certain tasks. And these commands you can find in the radio menu under function key number 10. And the radio commands will vary according to the category of the group, meaning ships will have less commands than, for example, helicopters. The ground troops are very useful, ships and ground vehicles, because they can provide support through target acquisition or target attack assistance. But more to be followed there. Let's do an overview of the different commands available. And for this, I would like to refer to the documentation set of Moose, which is here. Now, this is the HTML structure, but you can download the complete Moose package, and then you can browse in your directory, well, to the exact location of this. Yeah. So let me do this quickly. You go to index here. And there is your class, your explanation. It will open in your browser. You can then browse to Escort, and here you have all of the explanations of the class, all the APIs, all the descriptions of what each API does, etc., etc. Again, as a repetition of the previous session, the Escort class allows you to provide commands to the AI, your escort groups, like navigation. You can command them to join up with you and follow at a certain amount of meters behind you or near you. You can command them to release flares or smokes, and the flares or smokes can be done in different colors, and you have all these menu options available. Second option, or the second class of commands, is holding. So you can ask them to hold at their current position at a certain height. 30 meters is by default, but through the APIs you can specify the height as you want. But you can ask them to hold at your current location, your current lead location, and then you can fly away, but the unit will stay where you were. The third option is you can ask them to report any identified targets that they found to you. You can ask them to report right now. You can ask them to report automatically, which you can then switch on or off. The reporting targets can be controlled as well through an API, and you can define a time interval where you can ask that, well, at which time interval reporting will be done. When you ask them to report targets, you can then also attack those targets. The identified targets will become available under the menu Attack Targets, and you can then ask the escort to engage with those targets identified. Scanning of targets you can ask. So you can ask them to pop up and do a scanning for a specific amount of seconds. By default, there are two options there. There is one option where the escort will climb to about 100 meters above the ground and will scan around for 30 seconds. The second one is around for 60 seconds, but you can give commands higher and longer or shorter as you want through APIs. The sixth one is very special. So when you have two escorts accompanying your flight, you can ask through the identified targets of the first escort to engage targets by the second escorts. And the previous training had explained this already in the video extensively. Then you can set rules of engagements, which, well, in terms of air units, there's much more engagement types available than ground units, but the most common is hold fire, return fire, and open fire, and weapon free. Evasion is only for air units, so when air units are under threat, you can define here how they will react to the enemy fire or the enemy threats. You can ask, and that's also a very advanced function, the escort to resume their mission from a certain waypoint. So when you click this menu item, waypoints will be given, and you can then select from which waypoint the escort should continue. Important to know is that the hold position and attack targets, once the target has been eliminated, the escort was navigating through following your path. Once those targets have been eliminated, he will join up again and follow you at a specified amount of distance automatically. If he was doing a mission, then the mode will be that he will rejoin the mission. He will resume the mission after attacking his targets or holding his or scanning. Yeah. So there is an automated following or resume of a mission embedded within the escort class. The initialization methods or the APIs that are available are here. So explained. So the API menu follow at a certain distance is that well, it will provide a menu slot, and then you can then command the escort to join at a certain distance. And let me explain this to you and demonstrate this through a little program. Yeah. So here is my little program, which is the Moose Test Escort mission. And when I would join the Red coalition and I would join the K-50, then a spawn would happen from an Mi-28 helicopter. It will fly around. The name of the escort, and I will rename this for you for all clearance, will be helicopter, escort helicopter. This would be the reference menu that will be displayed for the escorting. And then here you have the APIs. So if I would select menus, then the default menus would be shown. But if I would select menu and then, for example, where is it here? Menu follow at, here you go. And I would ask them to follow at 100 meters. Yeah. And I want to have another option where I'm asking them to follow at, let's say, 200 meters. Yeah. And if I would test this, what do I do? Well, first of all, I need to start a DCS world. So I'm in the mission editor. I'm opening the test mission. Here you go. I had configured this file, which I'm going to save. It is in my test mission directory located, so I can import it quickly. Here you go. And now I'm going to test my flight. First save, of course, and then test my flight. So as you can see, I'm in my helicopter right now, and if I press now F10, look at escort helicopter here, navigation, I will see now two menu options available: join up and follow at 100 and at 200. Let me select the 100 option, and then the helicopter will say rejoining and following at 100. And let's observe what he's doing. Let me speed it up a bit. Yeah. So he's joining up. Okay. The next menu option I would like to show you is the hold position functions. So menu, and then there is a function here, hold at escort position or hold at leader position. Let's try escort position. You got 3 parameters. The first parameter where you can say, well, if I'm giving the command to hold, then hold at, let's say, 20 meters above the ground, and do this for 20 seconds. Now, or 10 seconds, but I haven't yet implemented the seconds, something I'm planning for, which I will release quite soon, but not today. You can also ask you can also specify a specific text to be displayed in the menu for your users or for your mission customization. For example, hold at and then %d meters for %s seconds. And then what will happen is that these 2 parameters given will be replaced by the %d here. Oh, excuse me, that should be a d. So %d, which is the normal Lua formatting standard. I can also ask the escort to hold position at your current leader position, and the same thing can be done. So, but maybe here I should not say let's say 20 meters, but maybe 120 meters for 0 seconds. And when I say 0 seconds, then the escort will keep on orbiting at the location specified until a command is given. So I want to use here the default text as well, so I can easily remove the parameter, and even when I have 0 seconds I can even remove this one as well if I want. These are optional. So let's test this one. Now, for all clarity, when you change your mission script, you just need to quickly reload it again. It's a small action that you get used to when you do this 5,000 times, so something you may not forget to do. So now we're back in the air. Let's have a look at the menu, how it looks like. So we got the escort helicopter escorting us, and now the hold position menu has been added with 2 options: hold at 20 meters for 10 seconds as we specified, and the next one is rejoin and hold at 120 meters. So if I'm executing, I'm going to browse right now to the helicopter so you can see its behavior. I'm still in the air. But let's have a look at, if I do the options, how the helicopter behaves. So for example, hold position and rejoin to my location. Let's have a look what he's doing. I'm going to speed up a bit the time so you can see the behavior. Remember, I'm still flying, but the helicopter will record the position where you were, and it will hover at 120 meters as I specified above the ground. Very nice, I think. Yeah. Now I want to ask the helicopter to hold position for 20 meters at his current location. Here you go. So now I will go down and he will dive in between the trees. Less detectable. Yeah. Okay, so we're starting to build up the escort functions already very significantly. Now what you want him to ask to do is to say, when you're flying, activate flaring. So you can do a text with that. You can ask them to a random text of the menu that you want to show. Helicopters or air units can only have flaring activated when you ask them to smoke. When you activate the menu smoke, which is another one, and I want to have the default text here. This is all very nice, but it will not be shown, the menu. And let me show you how that works. Okay, we're back in the air. So now if I go to menu, escort helicopter, and I look at the navigation menu, I will see this sentence disperse flares. So I can ask him to release, for example, a red flare. Here you go. See this here? It's a bit vague, but there he is. It's not the ideal situation, but it's something I thought would be useful when you want to know where the position of your escort really is. Also notice that indeed the smoke menu under navigation is not available because it's an air unit, but when you would ask to activate the smoke menus for ground units, then the menu will be shown. So now let's detect some targets. There is a menu option here that says where is it here? Report targets, and you can then specify in seconds the amount of seconds, the interval when targets are reported. For example, if you specify 30, it will report targets every 30 seconds, or you can ask him to report every 120 seconds, which is every 2 minutes. It really depends on the intenseness of your mission and the complexity and the threats that you have around, etc., etc. I prefer personally to have targets being reported at least a minute. And maybe another parameter that I should add in the future, and I will just add it right now, doesn't matter, is when targets are reported, maybe also to be able to specify how long that report is displayed on your screen. And currently reports are displayed around 15 seconds, but I should be able to say, for example, reported 20 seconds. Yeah. Okay. Let's show what it does. So here we are back at the office. Now you see that once the escort is being activated, it immediately reports, hey, I've detected targets because the targets are here and it's not that far. But he really doesn't know the type of the target yet. He knows there's a ground unit somewhere here, yeah, but there are also a couple of unknown targets. He's quite close, so he had a visual and he could detect them. So now if I ask this helicopter to report targets right now, which I can, then these targets are being reported. I can ask him to deactivate the reporting intervals so that he won't report any target anymore. So let's wait a bit. Yeah, and I can ask him to activate or to attack the identified targets using F4, which is a menu option that becomes automatically available when targets when target reporting is configured. So I can ask him to attack the MLRS, for example. Know that when you have when you ask him to attack a target, the rules of engagement are set to open fire on the designated target, and the rules of evasion or the rules of threat is set to passive defense. And the reason is because there's a bug in DCS, there's an error, especially for helicopters. When helicopters are configured rules of threat to do vertical evasive maneuvers, it starts to fly around like a chicken, and it doesn't fire anything. It just tries to designate a target, and when he designates it, he goes vertical and he flies away, and he does that 20-30 times, and if you're lucky he may fire one missile, and this is of course not very efficient. So this is the reason why I've chosen passive defense, because this is one of the best ways, I think, to have the best effectiveness of your helicopters and your escorts. Notice that I was not really ask him to do a lot, the helicopter, when I joined, but when I do this now, look, very interesting. I ask him to follow me at 200 meters, which he will. Let me speed it up a bit. So, yeah, I'm getting fired at, very nice. And let me get into a Hoover. I'm fired. He's hurt. Doesn't matter. He's still alive. So here he is. He's following me. So now I can ask him, okay, you're damaged, but you still have some firepower available. Can you please attack the ground unit, the MLRS? Please do. He's rejoining. Oh yeah, that was killed. Why isn't that deleted? That's a bug in my logic, I think. Okay, this one he should do. Yep. Okay. I know why that bug is, because I deactivated target reporting, so he doesn't do a rescan. Okay, doesn't matter. So now he's engaging to this target very far away. Now what I want to show you is, once he has attacked the target and the target is eliminated, then he will rejoin. Hopsa. And he's rejoining. Yeah. You can ask him to attack multiple targets. So you can ask him to do the ground unit there, and you can ask him to attack the other ground unit, and you can ask him to attack another one. Let me put reporting on so that the list gets updated. It's a bug that I need to resolve, I see, because even when reporting is switched off, you should still detect targets and update the target menu. There you go. So he has eliminated all the targets and he's rejoining. Okay, so that I think explains the target detection and reporting and the attack logic. Let's get to the next function. So now we're going to ask him as well to activate the resume mission. Resume mission doesn't take a parameter at all. It will activate the functions to allow the escort to resume its mission. And let me get back to the mission editor to explain what that means. So the escort has a mission. This one is the path that he's following, including the actions and all the different settings that he has. Well, the escort function allows to let the escort fly from certain waypoints, and I'm going to show you exactly how this works. So I'm back at the office. When I press F10 now, and F3, I get this menu resume mission from. So now I can ask him to resume the mission from a certain waypoint that was set, for example waypoint 2. And now he says, well, I'm resuming now from waypoint 2. So when you observe the helicopter, you'll see that he will fly off and resumes the mission from the waypoint that was set in the mission plan. When he's executing the mission and you want him to get back to safety, you could say, well, hold, remember, hold your position and orbit at 20 meters. So you can ask him to rejoin your formation, for example at 200 meters. Yeah. Let me speed it up a bit. You can ask him to resume the mission, but maybe from waypoint 3. Notice the distance. So when you activate this function, the distance is shown from where he was, from the waypoint. So here you go. And you see when the combination of these commands provides a lot of dynamism into the mission design and the way how players can interact with their escorts. You can take the lead, but you can also ask the escorts to take the lead because they have a mission, and then you can follow them. Yeah, I will show you this to you in the last session when I'm flying Goree Valley, which demonstrates the concepts of this. Yeah. So now I can show you as well assisted attack. more clearly. What assisted attack means is that you have multiple escorts escorting your flight, and you want to ask a ground unit or a ship or even a plane to assist your attack. This is a very interesting concept. So if I'm just copying this and I'm putting this here under the escort plane, voila, and I'm going to fly blue. So the blue situation is the blue coalition test is that I'm having a Georgian Su-25T here. I'm having a 101cc here flying around, and I have this red target here, and I got two ground units, the MLRS and the ship. So I can ask him, when he detects the target, to actually contact a coordination center and ask that one of the ground units give the coordinates, so that one of the ground units can then attack this unit, because he's not capable maybe of attacking him. Yeah. So here I am. The target is here. The Hawk is flying over it, and normally he should now already have detected the target. So let's have a look at reports. Yes, he did. So now I can ask him, please do an assisted attack from a ship. Voila, by that command is given. So if I now go to the ship and I look at the ship, then this ship should fire a missile. There you go. And he fires a Tomahawk. Yeah, so this is also very nice. So let's get back to the mission editor. Here, I hope it pops up, because there's a really nasty bug about not showing windows correctly. Is really annoying me. Okay, so menu assisted attack. Is there anything else I need to show? Let's have a look. Join up and follow we had. Menu, the rules of engagement. Quickly, so I have a menu, rules of engagement. Forget the text, you can try this out yourself. And menu evasion, where you can then specify, look, do evasive maneuvers or specific rules of engagements as you want. So I hope you found this training session useful. I hope that by really explaining this code, how you code it, that it helps people to code themselves. Let me reiterate a bit on how the coding was done in this test mission completely. So basically, three classes are being used: a client class, a spawn class, and an escort class. The logic really starts here, where you are specifying, using the spawn class, different units or groups that need to be spawned. So the spawn object is, objects are being stored in these variables, and you can use then these variables to execute different methods to spawn objects, which is done here, for example. So the spawn escort ground is then being used here, and the respawn is being executed here. And then that returns a group respawn, which is then stored into this variable here. Then the escort class then is being used to create a new object, escort ground 2, using the constructor new, which takes the client that was given as a parameter in the alive function that I will explain in a minute. You then give as a parameter the group of the escort that needs to escort the client, and then you can give a text what the reference menu would be for that escort in the radio menu. When clients get alive, I mean players can join whenever they want. So once a player joins, then that group becomes active. So there's a function here which will monitor on a continuous basis whether a client is alive or not. And you can then say with this method on a client class, yeah, alive, you can then say when the client gets alive, call this function here, which is a function that you can specify within your mission, and that takes one parameter, a client, which then provides you with a that client object that became alive, yeah, and you can use that object then to link that onto an escort here. So I hope that clarifies, and I hope you enjoyed this training session, and see you in the next one. Bye.